You're underweight on Deere with a $140 price target on the stock. So you're not that into the stock, and yet obviously markets liking what they're seeing today. What's the gap? What do you think investors are putting too much weight on, shall we say?
Yeah, good question. I think today Deere did say that U.S. farm sentiment has improved a little bit on the back of the U.S. signing the USMCA agreement, as well as China and the U.S. signing phase one of the agricultural deal. But I would advise investors to be careful. One shouldn't forget that Canada has not yet signed the USMCA deal. And to this point, China has not bought more U.S. soybeans. And so we're still in this vacuum, and even Deere acknowledged that they don't expect any farmer spending to pick up until at least the fall, when maybe we start to export more soybeans to China as we harvest late in this fall. So I think it's just too early. I think people were relieved that the company delivered decent margins despite all the headwinds in the macro environment for U.S. agriculture. And, I think time will tell, given where the strength of the dollar is, particularly against the real. The real has depreciated by 40% year to date, and they're just growing a record crop as we speak and harvesting it.
Yeah. So, Ann, I mean, they did maintain their target for the year. That seemed to please some people. There was some concern, though, that they didn't raise it. And apparently some of the executives talked about this idea that the fallout from the coronavirus may have been partly responsible for that. What did you hear from them earlier today?
Yeah, they did talk about the impact of the coronavirus on their supply chain. They do export components out of China to other parts of the world. They do expect that to be a $40 million headwind in Q2, more on freight and having to pay up to get the components out of China to other parts of the world. But they also acknowledge, I think, like everybody else in our coverage universe, that it's a little bit too early to really get your arms around the entire scope of the impact.